Today, I'm going to teach you guys about audio compression with a football. What's up guys, my name's Taylor Thomas, and this is Producer Bits. This is the first in a series called Basic Bits. This is where we kind of talk about complex audio topics with simple to use graphics or explanations, and that explains the football coming in later in this episode. Today's topic is compression, and before we can get really into what compression is, first we need to talk about some key terminology. First off, let's talk about dynamic range. Dynamic range is the difference between the quietest parts of your track and the loudest parts of your track. And so if you have a lot of dynamics, you have a wider dynamic range because of this. Second is the threshold, and this is actually kind of like an on switch for the compressor. So say this is the threshold and this is the audio playing. As soon as the threshold touches the audio, the compressor will start compressing the audio. Now let's talk about the ratio. Now the ratio is a number that is associated with how much dynamic range you want reduced. So let's say if you have a 2-to-1 ratio, for every 2 decibels that passes the threshold, only 1 decibel will actually be outputted by the compressor. Need to know what a knee does? Well, the knee is actually a device that helps the compressor ease into compression. So let's say we have a soft knee. Now that soft knee will help take the audio signal and then gradually start compressing it. But with a hard knee, anything over the threshold is immediately compressed. Lastly, we have the attack and release times. These are 2 times associated with the compressor that lets the compressor know when to start compressing and stop compressing. So how does a football play into all this? Let's find out. So let's imagine that this football is the audio signal coming into your compressor. The higher the football, the louder the signal. The lower the football, the quieter the signal. And let's just say that for every inch the football reaches in height, that is equal to a decibel of audio coming in. So let's introduce this threshold. This blanket is actually stopping the football from reaching a little bit higher than it normally would if it wasn't there. And this is equal to maybe a 5-to-1 compressor. This just means that for every 5 inches the football wants to go past the blanket, only 1 inch will be kind of put out over the blanket. Now, if we bring in this piece of cardboard, you can kind of tell that it's not letting any football go over the top of it. This is equal to a infinite to 1 ratio compressor, or as it's also called, a limiter. That's it for this basic bit. Thanks for watching. I hope this explained compressors to you. I'm going to leave a link down in the description where you can actually access some of the Ableton, FL Studio, Logic, and Pro Tools files so that you can mess with the compressor yourself and see how it's all working. Follow us on social media. We have a Twitter, a Facebook. Ask us any questions you want to see for another basic bit or any topic that you want to see here on Producer Bits. That's all for this episode. I'm Taylor Thomas. Go long. Lastly, we have the... Woo.